I'd like to talk about today receiving merchandise invoices in the Total eGolf back office. We're going to touch on a few areas: how to receive sales inventory into Total E, how this relates to items and vendors, printing labels while you're receiving those invoices, and then obviously posting those invoices to your inventory. I do have an actual invoice here from Nike that we will be posting to the system today. It looks like a pair of pants, just one pair of pants. So we'll use this actual invoice here to post to Total E. So we're going to head over to our back office. We will find the inventory posting mechanism under Pro Shop, Purchasing, and Receiving. Once again, that's Pro Shop, Purchasing, and Receiving. And we'll find our wizard here. You'll see we have a couple options across the top here: New, Save, Clear, Delete, Post, Auto Receive, Print Labels, Print Worksheet. So we will go through all of those. Under this receipt ID, this area is auto-populated. You will never need to type into this area. The magnifying glass here, if we click that, you can see in here that we have some invoices that we had worked on that have not yet been posted. So this area allows us to save our work at any time, come back in, hit this magnifying glass, and you can see you can double click on one of these like that, and you'll see a potential invoice that we were working on to post. You can hit save at any time. That invoice will go back into the receivings lookup, and you could pull it up and work on it again until you post it. It will stay in this area. So for this instance, we're going to hit new here. You'll see, like I said, that number's auto-generated, and our first step will be to pick the vendor ID. Like I showed you earlier, we're going to work with Nike Golf today and a pair of pants. You're welcome to type directly into this area, or you can hit the lookup button to pull that vendor. And you'll see I have a list of vendors there. So we'll grab Nike here. Nike will populate the vendor ID. This company area, we won't use that box. Transaction date there will auto default to today. So the vendor document number is your invoice number. So we'll go back to the invoice there. That number we have right there on the invoice you're working with is what we're going to enter into the system. Once we have that populated, we're going to move down to the actual items. We'll start with this right here, vendor item ID. This is going to give us a list of all the items that were connected to this particular vendor, which is Nike. If we scroll down here, we'll see we have a couple pairs of pants here. Looks like this one in particular was Nike flat front pant. So we can double click on that. It'll populate our pant into that item. We do need to populate this site ID. Most of the courses will have one option here, which is Pro Shop, but that area does need to be populated. We'll go back one more time to our invoice. Looks like our total cost there was a little discount. It was $30.75. And then quantity ordered, previously received, previously invoice, and invoice. You don't need to populate those areas. Just the amount received we're going to put in there, and that's the number one. This purchase order non-inventory item box will always pop up. You can just close this out. You can see the vendor is populated in there. Once we have the item in there, we're going to move down to this bottom section. Payment terms, pay terms. Most of this information is auto-populated by your vendor setup, which is Nike. This freight and miscellaneous, we will rarely use these areas as we want to allocate our freight into the actual cost of the item. So if we go back to the invoice here, looks like we had a total freight of $966. We're going to enter that into allocate freight, and then this little button right here, distribute freight to lines. When we hit that, it will actually distribute it into our cost. There we go, and it'll show that it allocated that freight into the cost. We have a total of $40.41. Over on the right here, we also have some terms and other information that is being pulled off your vendor ID. In the note box, if this was a special order or some kind of special instructions you'd want to leave with the worksheet that's printed with this particular invoice, you could do that. At this time, like I said earlier, we could save the item. We could clear out all our work and start over. We could delete this entire transaction. We could post it. You see there is an area here where we can print labels. If we click that button, it's going to bring us to our item label printing, populated with any items on the invoice and the quantity. We can hit preview here and print, and we'll get a good look at the item label there. So you can print in this area. This is a quick reminder under Cards, Pro Shop, Print Item Labels. Once again, that's Cards, Pro Shop, Print Item Labels. You can also print in this area, and you'll see all your items populated here. You can enter quantities on the far right, click Preview, and once again you'll be able to preview those labels and print them. So once you have all this information finalized, double check your cost, your invoice number. At that time, we can post this invoice. Sometimes there will be a little wait there. When you are posting invoices and receiving them, they are transmitting with Great Plains, so there will be a little null there. You'll see all our information here on this receiving ticket, everything we entered, the vendor, item numbers, totals. You are welcome to print this and attach it to the invoice. That way you know you have posted that invoice, and you can code that invoice at that time. After we print this receiving ticket, when you hit close, we will see one more document open, which is the actual posting information, and it will show your account numbers there. And you are welcome to print that one too. We'll close out of there. You will see that your receivings engine will clear out, and you could click New and go to a new start a new invoice, or we can close out of here and we'll be finished. So once again, that's the purchasing and receiving invoices into Total eGolf. Feel free to call me or email me if you have any questions regarding that. I'll leave my information up here for one more minute. Thanks.